Welcome back to another episode of the Call Center Chronicles. My name's Justin, the host of the show. Please remember to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can go and help the channel grow. Now, on with the first story. This one was a bit of a doozy. This happened today. When this posts, it will officially happen as of Wednesday. Now, I had a call today. Comes in normal. It comes in as a regular customer service call. It wasn't anything special like web support or funds transfer, so nothing off the wall. But it was still very crazy, and it still baffles me. I just don't get where this guy was coming from. He calls in very upset. Aren't they always? It's like, can we not get someone that's cheerful and happy once in a while? If they're probably on something. They drank a little too much. I got some stories for that one later on. Now, this guy calls in. He's upset, he's confused, and he does not know why he's receiving someone else's mail. I don't work for the United States Postal Service. Never have, probably never will. No offense to what they do. They do a great job. But I don't know what this guy's what this guy was on or what. He calls and asks if that can be stopped. I'm like, what do you mean, sir? It's like, I don't want the mail to come here anymore. And he's like, I tell him, sir, this is not the United States Postal Service. His response was, of course it is. Mind you, my call center is, thank you for calling my bank. How can I help you today? Not, thank you for calling the United States Postal Service in such town. When he calls, it says, thank you for calling my bank. Please input your 16-digit card number, or if you do not have your card, tells you how to access our system. Now, I don't know if this guy was intentionally doing this or he was just that special. And if he is, we all know what they can do. First shuttle to Mars. But I tell him, sir, you're not calling the U.S. Postal Service. I can't help you with that. Well, who am I supposed to call? Maybe the Postal Service? I even said, I don't know, sir. Maybe the post office. And so then he says, well, isn't that who I'm talking to? I tell him, no, sir. You're talking, my name's Justin with my bank. He follows up with this. Well, they told me to call you. But you just told me that you were calling the Postal Service. So how can you be on the line with the Postal Service and be on the line with the bank at the same time? Why you're talking to me at the exact same time? Now, I'm not the smartest person, so I don't want to think about this too hard, or the little hamster up here is going to die on its wheel. So I came to the conclusion of one of two things. One, he's doing this because he's bored and has no one to talk to, but I can hear he's getting frustrated. Or two, he needs to be on the first shuttle to Mars. He's a rocket scientist. Elon Musk, that's someone you need to sign up right there. But, I tell him, he's not calling the post office. I tell him he's calling my bank, and he doesn't get that. And he's like, well, I keep getting this guy's magazine subscriptions, credit card subscriptions, and all this other stuff in the mail. I'm like, again, I tell him, sir, you need to call the Postal Service. The Postal Service. I can't do anything for you. I go around and around and around in a circle, and I'm like, sir, I can't help you. No one here at the bank can help you. I'm sorry with that. And if it's not your account, if you're not calling in about your if you're not calling in about your account, I can't help you with that. If he's calling in about someone else's, I can't help him with that either. It's not his account. He can't get any information on that. Third-party callers, come on now. I got plenty of those stories as well, waiting in the back. Now, He finally gets frustrated to the point where he just gives up. And I finally do my closing. Thank you for calling my bank. Have a great day. Click, hang up. I get him off the line because I'm done. I'm tired. I mean, I went around in a circle for a good 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, I was in my handle time. But, man, who do you think you're calling when you hear, thank you for calling my bank? And if it's not Bank A, because you're trying to reach Bank B, something should click in your head. Oh, man, maybe I'll call the wrong place. And this isn't the first time this kind of thing has happened. I've had this happen quite a few times, and I don't understand why. I mean, I've been on the line where I say, thank you for calling my bank, and they start spewing all this nonsense. Why do I have this charge on my bill? Yada, 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 yada. You need to remove it. I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and look at the account. I pull it up, go through everything, and I've had this plenty of times. My most favorite one, mind you, this is my favorite one of all time. I pull up an account for this caller. I look over the transactions. I go through all of them. There's only maybe 10 transactions, and she's looking for a certain transaction for the cell phone company. And she's like, I made it. I did. You charged me. I'm looking at my bill right here. I'm like, man, we didn't charge you. What do you mean you didn't charge me? You're calling my bank. And she's like, what? Yeah, you're calling my bank A. She's like, no, I'm calling my bank B. No, ma'am, this is bank A, not bank B. Well, it's clear you don't know who you're working for, or you're messing with me. What? Seriously? I don't know who I'm working for. I've never heard that one. I haven't heard it since. Has to be a Karen in training. Because the first thing she said right after that, let me talk to your manager. I can get you my supervisor. I got her over to my supervisor, and she proceeded to argue, yell, and scream. Now, this is back before all this whole apocalypse and plague happened. So I'm sitting there at my desk, and I sit next to my supervisor. Well, not right next to them, but I sit pretty close by. We're in the same row, as we all know. The long rows of destitute, of hell. So I turn and look over, and I see my supervisor giving me the stink eye. Just staring me down like, you gave me this call. You did this on purpose. Well, maybe I kind of did, maybe I kind of didn't, but they're looking at me, it's like, are you serious? You gave this to me? Really? Why? I made it up. I got them some snacks later. They were happy with that. But this person could not understand that they were not talking to Bank B. They were talking to Bank A, and they needed to call Bank B because that transaction was on Bank B. I feel so bad for my supervisor that day because they were on a soup call. I want to say for a good 25 minutes. Why anyone would sit there and argue and beat a dead horse for 25 minutes because you called the wrong freaking bank. Why would you do that? Why would you sit there and argue for so long? It baffles me. Send that person to the shell to Mars. Get them out of here. Now, I got a few good stories, and I want to go over one I recently had about a third-party caller. Now, some of you might know what third-party callers are. They're not listed on the account. We can't provide any information to someone's account with some third party. I mean, if they're not on the account and you see the person's name is John Doe, but someone calling to be Adam Doe, his cousin is calling in, nah, screw that. I ain't talking to you. That's fraud right there waiting to happen. I had this one person calls in, says, hey, my cousin asked me or my brother asked me to call in for them to get their available balance. Can you provide that to me? Nope. Sorry. You're not the card holder. Okay, well, I'm John Doe. You just told me you were Adam Doe. Not helping you. Tell John Doe to call in. Can't help you. Goes around and around and around in a circle. Finally, he gets frustrated and says, let me talk to your supervisor. Alright. I got a soup call over here just for you. Send it off to the supervisor. Process starts all over again. Supervisor even stops and asks me, hey, are you talking to John Doe? Nope. When he called in, he said his name was Adam Doe. Come here. I go over there. They put it on speaker. They put it on mute. Who's that talking? Like, that's Adam Doe right there. That's not John Doe. That's not the card holder. Okay. So they go back to this caller. They go through the same thing over again. And this is when I hear it. Well, you don't know what you're effing talking about. Let me talk to your manager. Supervisor throws his hands up and says, alright, let me go ahead and get you over to my manager. Gets him over to the manager. Around the same circle again. Manager finally gets fed up and says, you know what? My agent's already told you we can't help you because you're a third party. My supervisor's even told you that. And I've told you 5 times. Thank you for calling my bank, and hangs up on him. Some people just don't understand that if you're not listed on the account, if you are not part of that account, we can't do anything to help you. 1, we don't want to commit fraud. 2, we definitely don't want to commit fraud. And 3, we're not committing fraud. But some people just don't understand that. They think, I can call in. I've done it before. When have you ever done that before? If someone has, someone needs to lose their job. But I kid you not, there are just some really special people out there. And these have been some of my few stories about some of the special people I've dealt with. And I'm still trying to get over that mail call. What in the world was that about? I mean, really? I'm telling you, I'm not the Postal Service. I'm my bank, and yet you still want to believe you're calling the Postal Service. Well, again, my name's been Justin with the Call Center Chronicles. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.